Hello, my name is Darrel Nelson. I'm Exhibits Director for Deadwood History, and I'm standing right now on Sherman Street, loud Sherman Street, in front of one of our facilities, the Adams Museum. And I'm dressed up like this, which is not normal for me, in honor of W.E. Adams, who in the wildest time of Deadwood, we think of the HBO series in which characters are dirty or dangerous looking. He was not. He was an elegant, restrained Victorian gentleman who knew what he was about. So Adams came here as a farm kid, 1877, and he was 23. He and his brother locate their store on Main Street, and the first picture we have of an Adams venture is that store. And you can see 2 doors down are brothels. People of all kinds of inclinations, conmen on the street, pretty regular violence, gunplay, drunkenness. Adams was there as a man who was in a suit, who was careful, he was calculating, and he was a wise man. As a young person, he knew what he was doing as a businessman. So when you think of early Deadwood, think of people like him as well as the legendary characters. So as a businessman, he and his brother thrived in that location. In 2 years, the city burned to the ground. They rebuilt. And over the next 30 years, they expanded and expanded and expanded. And across the street from where I'm standing is what became his headquarters. He built it very smartly right next to the new Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy Railroad. So his loading dock was right on the railroad. Makes sense to me, but not everyone did that. In that building, he built a water-powered elevator ahead of his time, or certainly very visionary. So he knew exactly what he was doing as a businessman. As a civic person, he was involved in many civic organizations. He was mayor 6 times. And as mayor, he not only kept the city in the black, he oversaw the adding of water troughs for horses, the end of another era, and the beginning of the new era, automobiles. He oversaw the paving of the city streets. So he had a picture of what Deadwood could become, very likely ahead of other people. Adams, the man. He was not only classy and elegant in the way he looked, he was something of a wild guy. He must have been, because he loved fast cars. Who'd have thought? I wonder what some of these other legendary characters, what kind of car they would have. Well, Adams went for the biggest, the best, and the fastest. He had a white steamer, which in its day was a state-of-the-art, fastest vehicle on the road, faster than you could drive around here. His next car was a straight 12, a 12-cylinder Marmon, a huge, really overpowered vehicle. Then he was going to buy a Rolls Royce, the most expensive vehicle that you could buy in the day. And his wife said, well, I don't think that's a good idea. And he didn't. My point is, there was this side of him that loved speed and loved power. He was also a high-tech guy. One of his favorite hobbies, his favorite hobby was playing music. Not just old music, because it's all old to us. It was the newest music of the day, 1920s, Roaring 20s music. One of his favorites was Al Jolson. He ended up with a huge collection of vinyl records, and one of his favorite possessions was his record player. My point being, he was up with the times. He was astute. He was alert. He was also a very human person. This guy that I'm describing as having all these good qualities, he also married a woman 44 years younger than he. You could scratch your head and think, Will, what are you thinking? We can imagine what he's thinking. My point is, he was very much alive and vital person. He also saw great tragedy in his life. His wife, daughter, and granddaughter all died within 48 hours of each other. So he knew about the hard stuff of life. Finally, he was a visionary. The building behind me, he began to build in the Depression. Why build a building then when money is tight? In that building is one of our signature artifacts. It is the Potato Creek Johnny gold nugget, 8 ounces of solid gold, the second largest nugget ever found in the Black Hills. A normal person would take that nugget, and he bought it from the Potato Creek Johnny, the finder of it. A normal person would melt it down or sell it to become coins or jewelry or teeth. He didn't. He kept it at a time when money was tight, presumably for the purposes of history. So long before others were thinking that, he had the future in mind. Then even after his death, he's a character that I would say is bigger than life. When he died, he bequested a certain amount of money and goods to his wife. She invested wisely and began a foundation, the Adams Mastervich Foundation. We are still getting money to this day from that foundation. So truly a man who lived longer, his effect is bigger than his own lifetime. So I guess to close, I'll say, Mr. Adams, this suit is for you. Thank you.